everybody, and welcome to this special video podcast featuring Brandon Hall Group and Vivo Team. Our topic today, ensuring the productivity of remote teams, which of course is always an important topic, but particularly relevant during the coronavirus pandemic. I'm Claude Werder. I'm Senior VP and Principal HCM Analyst for Brandon Hall Group. We're the largest independent HCM research and advisory firm. And I'm joined by my special guest today, Renee Safrata, founder and CEO of Vivo Team, based in Vancouver, Canada. Vivo Team believes great leadership and strong teams aren't born through one-off training sessions. They use a high-tech approach that pinpoints areas for improvement. Their people analytics reveal behavioral insights that directly link to a company's bottom line. Then they cultivate strong teams and leaders through instructor-led training and group coaching online. So Renee is a real expert in this area, a perfect person to talk on this important topic. Welcome, Renee.
Thanks, Claude.
We only have a short time together, so let's get right to the heart of things, shall we?
Absolutely.
The first question I wanted to ask is, what do you think, especially in the situation we're in, the managers need to focus on to help their teams, their remote teams, succeed during this time?
Yeah, Claude, what we're seeing with our customers and what we're talking to our customers about is manager connection to employee. So what we've seen is that during the pandemic, the first week was sort of shock and awe and chaos where people moved to their remote and distributed teams, and just the physical setup was the first thing to think about. Then in the second week, they started to move into this idea of connecting with remote tools and maybe seeing one another on video, or maybe texting more often, or maybe using the structures of Slack or Google Teams, whatever it was. So putting structures into place. But yet the managers now need to be disciplined to focus on deep connection, deep listening and deep connection. And often, unfortunately, companies have moved managers out to remote locations who are actually accidental leaders. So they don't have those behavioral skill sets yet. And what we're finding is that when we're offering understanding for managers of how to look for the outliers on the team, how to manage their own stress, that's really important. As time goes on with the coronavirus, what's going to happen is that some team members are going to be more competent and motivated to work in their remote offices. Could be a complete flip from what they were in their real offices.
Yeah.
Some team members are going to start to fall off and get a little bit squirrely. So it's really that deep listening and the discipline that managers connect, not just a, hey, how are you, but a deeper sense of what do you need more of, what do you need less of, how can I support you during this time, and with deep frequency.
Yeah, I think the other kind of complex part of it, right, is it's going to differ a little bit for every employee. So that it's not that they can rely on one thing. They're going to really have to, over time, create a good understanding of which employees need which techniques in order to do the best job.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to really understand as leaders how to flex their leadership style. Some people need more show and focusing to provide structure and accountability to what they're doing on a regular basis. Other people need more facilitating, just regular check-in calls. So if I'm a leader and I have a team of 12 distributed, I really have to know how to flex my style task specific for each of those employees. And it's a discipline, and it requires that managers start to unlearn being individual contributors and really start to recognize that they are the front lines of business right now, and they are going to have the discipline to connect and connect at a deep level.
Right. In some ways, it really creates a fresh start for some managers in the sense that our research shows that, even in person situations, managers are struggling to meet those connections and having those regular one-on-ones. This kind of forces the issue a little bit, and while it may challenge their skills, it also provides them with a fresh opportunity to build new relationships that can then continue on past this crisis.
Absolutely. And I think too, if managers start to think about how to pull out information from their employees in a different way by perhaps not enabling them by giving them all the solutions, but actually doing an inquiry to get those people to bring forward their individual contribution like they never have before is really, really important as well. Because as I said, some people have been in workspaces and they have been somewhat competent, somewhat motivated, but actually they get into their home environment and the distraction is down and they can actually become more productive, more competent, and more motivated. And the flip side can happen for others. While they weren't functioning or they were functioning, the opposite can happen. So managers really have to be aware of that.
Right. Yeah, everybody's going to adjust or not adjust in a different way, and it takes a lot of focus.
Yeah.
So what resources and techniques do you find are most valuable for managers to get to this new level of awareness with their direct reports?
Yeah, so again, connection. And connection for us is all about measured behavior. So really understanding and getting insights about people's behavior, how they're setting up their day. And actually, I'd love to show you a picture worth 1,000 words for me sometimes, Claude, with regards to how we helped out our customers with behavioral analytics during this time. Are you good with that?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So what I've got here is a report, and we call this our vital statistics report. And I'm showing you an actual manager's vital statistics report of their team. So what this team has done is they've answered, it takes them about 15 minutes, they've answered a series of statements, meaning they've quantified those statements as to how productive they notice that their coworkers and team members are. And these are anchored in what we call the hard stuff, which other people call the soft skills. Of how team members collaborate. So you can see across the board in the legend, anything that is red, you're losing people. The team needs attention. Anything that's gray, hey, if it's a low gray, it's an early warning sign for something to become a red. And what we really want to see is we want to see a healthy team right across the board. So let's say now this manager has been sent home and has a remote team. We know from when they were working in the office that this is actually a description of how their team has set up with regards to behaviors. It's red across the board. This indicates that this is a very locked team and that when they get together to collaborate, they're having some difficulties. We can also see the prescription of where they need the most help. So the lowest indicators are feedback, feed forward, structures, and emotional intelligence. Now, if I'm the leader and I have these insights into this kind of data, I can recognize that now that we've all moved to remote and distributed offices, I need to really start to work on structures first and foremost, how the team is coming together. I also need to solicit and request more feedback from my team. If we look at another element that we provide in this data and analytics, we do something called the leader behavior gap. And what we've done here is we've asked the leader to quantify their awareness of their behavior in comparison and contrast to the perception of the team members' perception of that leader behavior. So here, as you can see on the scale of -1 to -3.5, this particular leader has what we call a negative leader behavior gap. What that means is they rated their awareness higher than the perception of the team. That's a problem, and this team was working side by each with one another. Now they're going remote. This leader really has to increase, again, their connection to the employees, and they can do that by looking at the statements that are indicated below. I won't go into that. But what I want to also indicate is on the next tab, I'm showing how this leader, after some training and development, increased their skill set. So we talked about structures. Let's just focus on that. We see now that while they were in the office before coronavirus hit, this leader did the work to increase the structural behaviors of the team to connect, to increase their motivation and their collaboration. This is good news for the leadership team of this company, right? This is fantastic. And then if we look again at their leader behavior gap, they have just been sent home, and you can see in the indication of the blue, they have tightened their alignment of their awareness of their behaviors and their team's awareness of their behaviors. So they're getting more results. We really believe that with alignment comes results. So I'll leave that at that for just a snapshot of how analytics, behavioral analytics, can really help all the teams and the leaders need to focus on.
Well, and not to jump ahead, but I think this also shows the kind of the changes that probably need to happen if and when they go back to an in-person environment, because they were able to make some critical adjustments, but now we've got to keep that momentum going. And obviously the skill set in the office is going to be a little bit different than remotely. So there's yet another set of adjustments to make, but one thing at a time. But I think when I'm talking to people on the phone, I think they're already beginning to think or see that the adjustments they're making now, what do they do to keep up the momentum, whatever level of success do they have once they get back into a more quote unquote normal situation?
Yeah, and Claude, I want to show you one more thing too, which I missed, and I do want to bring it up. So think now about
Sure.
C-suite executives, and think about how they are managing, they are looking at their spreadsheets of their numbers every day right now to make sure that they can hold on to their team and that they can hold on to business. Here with the same case study, I'm showing you how by this manager improving the performance of their team by 28% and bringing that team function from 53 to 68, they have reclaimed $89,000. Then that's pure bottom line dollars about team member function. Well, now if I start to, as a C-suite executive, have the number on my talent, and I can assume a 12 to 18% decline, let's say worst case scenario, 12 to 18%, I know how much money this could be lost, right? And now I can start to look at the financials and say, how are we going to recover that? So there's a lot of meat on the bone there that we can talk about, and we can give our leaders and managers good insights. The other thing that we're noticing is a lot of companies who have not done the analytics are calling us now saying, hey, let's get the snapshot now, because let's get it now, and then let's see what it's going to be like in 2 months, right? So that we can really help people.
So that's a real good segue into, I guess, the last thing that we want to focus on a little bit is what are some of the specific strategies that differ between managing in person and remotely that these managers need to deal with?
Yeah, so different strategies with regards to different strategies. So I think
Yes.
it comes down to, from a manager standpoint, the strategies start to look like, what are my strategies for myself and what are my strategies for other? What I find that we've been working on a lot with our customers right now with regards to self strategy is there's so much going on for managers and leaders that they need to decrease their stress levels. They need to come out to that united front to their team members being somewhat put together. So whether that's that they have smaller groups at their peer-to-peer level, that they can just have a think tank and talk about their challenges, or whether they actually shut their door for 15 minutes, breathe, just reconnect with themselves, and then come forward to their team. Those are self strategies. The other thing is for accidental leaders, those are the leaders that haven't been trained to develop others enough before coronavirus. It's really important for them to connect with their next level leaders, to really get some mentoring and some tips. You've been here before, I haven't. What do I need to do? And how do I need to engage my team? And make sure, again, that I'm the front line for business here to get these results that we need.
Yep.
When we turn to the managers, as I said, they need to connect and they need to deeply, deeply listen and be frequent with their listening. This is far beyond a, hey, how are you? This is about pulling out information and really making sure that they can report to their next level manager or to the C-suite about how their team is doing, because everybody's spread out everywhere.
One of the things that I've noticed as I've interviewed companies who are making transitions is there is a lot of focus on what you're talking about, is really connecting. But part of that connecting is also having some level of accountability, not in an overbearing way, but making sure that the conversations that are going on over the phone and via WebEx and what have you is somehow we make sure and confirm our understanding, so that, as you said, that manager can report back up to his or her manager, and everybody has a good idea of the direction we're headed. So just a simple thing like at the end of the day, each employee being expected to say, hey, this is what I got done today, this is what's on my calendar for tomorrow, so that there's some idea of what's going on and everybody's kind of on the same page. And so I just wanted to bring up and get your viewpoint on the importance for accountability here, because I'm hearing from managers this, oh, we got to make them feel okay about this situation, and they do, as you've said, but we also want a level of accountability, so we're continuing productivity and improving productivity as we go through this process.
Absolutely. And I look at that a little bit differently, because sure, we as leaders and managers, we need to present the facts, present the knowledge, but I think we also need to hold each of our people that we have hired for a specific reason to have a resiliency. And the resiliency needs, I don't want to take care of them. I want them to take care of themselves, and I want them to connect with me about how I can support them taking care of themselves. But I don't want to take care of them because this is their opportunity, like it's my opportunity to step up as a manager. They can step up to the plate and do their great work. So you're right, accountability is excellent. One of the tools that we use is called a direct ongoing swift encounter. We've used this with our team, and we teach this all the time to all the businesses that we work with, which is a direct ongoing swift encounter. Takes 10 minutes, really easy to do. And the importance of that there with accountability is it increases a balanced forum. A lot of leaders and managers go into meetings, and they have been doing this for years and years, where 6 people in the meeting don't say a thing through the whole meeting. Now's the time to get them to be accountable, to step forward and to speak what they need to speak to. So a dose is a balanced forum when it brings people forward to say what they're working on, what they're stuck on, and what's a win. And we'll put some resources up here for people so that they have insights that they can look into for a direct ongoing swift encounter, and as well 9 tips for making sure that they have effective meeting norms.
Great. And I just want to amplify what Renee just said. We're going to make some tools available for you from the Vivo team that you can use after this. So this has been a great discussion, but we're also giving you some things you can put into action. So Renee, thank you very much for your insight and the tools you're providing. And thank you for everyone for listening. I hope this has been helpful to help you with your transition into managing the remote workforce and making the best of this situation. Thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks again, Renee. And we hope to talk to some of you again very soon. Thanks. Have a great day.
Have a great day.